Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing well.
Nice weekend for you on the recruiting trail. And the season ticket sales seem to be buzzing and trending in the right direction. Basketball season right around the corner. Tell me about the weekend. I know you had a couple of official visitors in town that you can't talk to by name, but just the atmosphere this weekend in recruiting for you guys.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I say it all the time. There's no better showcase of LSU, Louisiana, our athletics programs than a Saturday football game. And so it was a tremendous weekend with the football team obviously having a huge win, but the basketball showcase on Saturday having a great turnout at that before the band came in and the TAF pep rally in there. So just a really good weekend for LSU, for our basketball program, for our football program, for our university, and we were happy to piggyback off of all that.
You picked up a commitment, and since you guys' accomplishments last season and the buzz around the program, how's the tone changed in recruiting on the trail for you?
Well, we're not selling as much hope as we're saying, hey, we've done it and we're going to do it again, and we're going to keep doing it as often as we can. And there's another level that we can reach if we can continue to get certain level of players, certain caliber of players. So that's what our staff, that's what we're targeting, that's what we're going after. And we're telling guys that look, we've done it. We did it last year, and we want to continue to do it. We're going to continue to do it. We've just got to keep attracting very, very good players and guys who are not only good players but good people and fit within what we're doing and fit within what we're doing off the court as well.
Couple of new faces that we've talked about and highlighted over the offseason, but people had a chance to see them on Saturday morning with the showcase. And a comment you made yesterday stood out. You last year was kind of an outlying team for you as far as talent went. You haven't really coached teams with those types of personnel, with the bigs. This is more your style, right? You're more comfortable in coaching this style of team?
Yeah, I mean, I've been coaching teams like this for a long time. At Chattanooga, at VCU, even when I was an assistant at VCU, we didn't have just, huge big guys most of the time. So this is the most skilled team I've coached. We've usually never had fives. We've had some smaller fives, but we've never usually had smaller fives that can shoot the ball. And so I think we've got plenty of good options that can shoot, whether it be Days, whether it be Emmett, guys that we can create some mismatches with offensively. And, at the end of the day, people just don't throw the ball in the post that much. So it's not like we're going to get exposed in the post, people just pounding the ball in the post. I mean, we scrimmaged a really good team, Baylor, a couple of weeks ago, and they've got a tremendous post player who will be, probably he's preseason first team All Big 12. And it's not like they it's not like they just pounded the ball into him and they hammered us in there. I think we maybe scored 2 or 3 baskets. So I don't think, that's going to be that much of a disadvantage in terms of guarding the post and that sort of thing. I think it's going to be much more of a disadvantage in terms of rebounding if we don't get our guards to get in there and rebound. That's the main thing we've got to have is Javante, Skyler. We've got some bigger guards. Charles Manning's a big guard. Obviously, Marlon. Those guys got to get in there and help us rebound. They got to rebound down. The bigs are doing a pretty good job of blocking out, trying to clear the lane and move their guys out. And then, the guards are going to have to rebound down and help us. And if we do that and we team rebound and do a nice job there on the glass, I think it's going to be a huge advantage for us because we're going to be almost impossible to match up with and impossible to guard on our offensive end.
Wow. Talking to LSU head basketball coach Will Wade, getting you hyped from basketball season right around the corner. Coach, as you said, you've already done it. Now it's time to continue to do it. What changes now, right? Because like before, you have the motivation of doing things that you hadn't done before and coming from this low spot. Does anything change in your messaging or not when you're talking about continuing to do it and making that success consistent?
No, I mean, I talk all the time about our guys' habits, attention to detail, consistency. Anybody can do something 1 out of 10 times. Can you do it 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times? Like that. Those are people that people take notice of. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. That doesn't mean we're going to win the thing every year, but we need to be in the conversation. Yeah. We don't need to go from first to 8. I mean, we need to be in the conversation. And if we call a spade, we haven't been real consistent around here. in a long time. We hadn't been to back-to-back in-state tournaments in almost 15 years.
Wow.
And so, I mean, that's a really good step for our program is to be consistent and have some consistency to us, start having a great attention to detail to what we do, continue to build good habits and play to those good habits. But, I mean, the number one thing I've been talking to our guys about is consistency. We got to be consistent every day. We can't just be doing things 1, 2 out of 10 times. We got to be doing 8, 9 out of 10 times. And, when you're consistent, if you consistently give yourself an opportunity, if we're consistently in the top 4 or 5 of the league every year, every 2 or 3, 4 years, we're going to win the thing. And if we're consistently getting good seeds in the NCAA tournament, that doesn't mean you're not going to get upset one year in the first or second round. But if you continually give yourself those opportunities by consistent play, you're going to bust the door down and get to a Final Four, and you get your program to that level, and you're going to bust the door down and win the thing. So, that's really what we're trying to build towards and continue to get better at, is just being consistent and not having the highs and lows, just being very, very even with what we're doing.
And Coach, one thing that I have loved since you stepped on campus, and you've always talked about it, and you really, really saw it pay dividends last year, was the emphasis on the 6-minute game and what that means to outcomes. Because I think there's going to be a lot of new LSU basketball fans coming in. Can you kind of give them the idea behind emphasizing those final 6 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously very good in the last 6 minutes last year. I think we won 6 overtime games. But, we're talking about a totally different season, totally different narrative. Some of those games go the other way.
Yeah.
But we really spend a lot of time in practice focusing on 6-minute games, and we call it winning time, and this is what you have to do to win. In a 6-minute game, you got to be solid on defense. You got to make your free throws, and you got to value the ball. You just got to put the ball on the basket. You can't turn it over. If you don't turn the ball over, you drive it in there, you get fouled. You find a way to manufacture some points at the free throw line, and then you don't gamble, and you're just solid on defense. Keep between your man and the basket. You're going to give yourself a chance in all of those 6-minute games. And so we spend a lot of time. We practice them every day. Every day we do some sort of situation from a 6-minute game where we play it out at the end of practice when our guys are fatigued and the other team's fatigued. And so, we think our conditioning is a huge advantage for us in those situations. We think our preparation is a huge advantage for us in those situations. And we just have to go out and do what we do every day, because there's not a day that goes by in practice we don't work on ending the game and end of game situations and what we want to do in those situations. And so I think it gives our guys confidence that we put a lot of work into it. I think when you work on something, that you gain confidence through that. And I think that shows in the games when we execute down the stretch. Yeah,
and it definitely showed. Like we said last year, it was really, really evident. And so physically, like you said, practicing when you're tired, mentally, everything. Does sports psychology have an impact as well? Because I know that Greg Graber, y'all are really close, and you've been very forward thinking in that regard. Like how do you get your players ready for those big moments so that they aren't too big?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time, whether it be with Graber and our breathing, whether it be with Dr. Joel Fish, who's our sports psychologist, talks about confidence, composure, concentration in those moments. That's one reason I do all the games. For instance, we were playing a game yesterday, and we've got, we have special packages of plays. So we have what we call momentum plays. We got 6 of those. When we need a momentum basket, we're going to run one of those. We got 3 or 4 package of plays we're going to run at the end of the first half, or we're going to run at the end of the game when we need baskets to basically get our best guys in space and let them work and that sort of thing. And so, at the end of the day, who can execute that stuff under pressure? And that's what I'm looking for in practice. Like yesterday, we had a major malfunction in practice with one of those plays. And that's a problem. Like that shows me that, hey, look, some of those guys who were in who were part of this malfunction, if they can't handle it in practice in front of just a few people, golly, how's it going to be when we got 10,000 people in there? We got to be able to execute it on the fly. And so you're always judging that and seeing, who your best 5 guys are. They're going to be able to be composed. They're going to be able to concentrate and focus and have a high level of precision and run it with pace when you're in there late in the game. And so that's something that we're judging every day to make sure that, 1, we've got the right calls out there, but 2, we got the right guys out there executing the calls.
Those rings are pretty.
The what are pretty?
The rings.
Oh, the rings. I thought you said the rims. I was like, oh, no, we hit too much of the rim. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what were your thoughts when you saw the ring?
I've only looked at it once. I gave it to my wife, and I don't
Wow.
even know where it is right now.
Wow,
But,
that is the best head coach answer I've ever heard in my life.
But it's somewhere at my house, I think. Probably in the safe with all the rest of the rings. But Nelson Hernandez, our operations guy, he did a tremendous job designing it. We let our players kind of, have a say in it. We had the state of Louisiana on there. We had Boot Up on there. We had the record, Sweet 16. We had the tiger face, I think, on the front of it. So, it was good for our guys. But like I told our guys, nobody cares about that anymore. That was last year. It's time to move forward. And so, that ring doesn't, we don't start 1-0 or 2-0 or something just because we got a ring last year. So it's a nice memory. And, really it's all about the journey. And what was exciting about last year was, you think back to some of the huge wins, whether it be at Florida or the Tennessee game at home or the Vanderbilt game at home. Obviously, like that's the fun part. The ring just kind of memorializes it. So, yeah, it was good to kind of get that out of the way where we can move forward, focus on this year's team and what we need to do with this year's team to put ourselves in position to have an opportunity down the stretch again.
If this show ever wins an award, I'm putting it front and center on the table right here, and then we're just closing it down. We've accomplished it.
LSUTix.net. Tickets still available November 8th. They tip off the season versus Bowling Green. Over 7,200 tickets already sold for the season. Coach Wade has excitement around that program heading into year 3, defending SEC champs. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.